My name is John Paul. I'm honored to be here. Very grateful to be here. Um, Stephen Michael knows I love him very much. Steve now. Um, Always Stephen Michael to me. So my experience is that after about 16 years in New Jersey State Prison consecutively, um, I was using drugs and making hooch, and I was in Rahway, East Jersey State Prison, and new cops were coming in, making it really hard to get what I get, and I was not able to do as much as I could, and I was thinking and feeling, and didn't want to live anymore, and I had a shift where I was at a point of desperation, and I started going to the chapel, and started trying to go to the AA meeting and try to do something, because I couldn't see living with drinking or drugging every day, and I couldn't see living without it, um, and I started that process. And then after a little while, I got shipped down the Bayside because my custody was coming down, and I was on a list for like 14 months for an NA meeting. They didn't have no AA or NA meeting really for me, and I needed something. I needed to be able to talk. I needed to be able to. I was in this process of trying to heal, and so some people told me that I was going to the chapel, and some people said, there's this group, Heart to Heart, and they get together, and it's kind of like a circle, and maybe you could use it kind of like an AA meeting kind of thing. And so that was my intention, was to just go there to like be in a circle and kind of just talk about stuff, because I just needed healing. And I was like listening to the stuff, but I was just more or less kind of focused on just kind of like staying. There was a lot of drugs in the system, and it was really difficult to not use. And so I was just kind of trying to stay above water with that. And kind of listening to the Marshall Rosenberg book a little bit, and Stephen Michael, and how he's teaching us about breathing and self-empathy, and trying to get in touch with, your needs inside. And so I was in E unit, and there was two guys that were actually in E unit that were in Heart to Heart. And if you would have asked me, what I thought their chances were of changing into a compassionate human being, I would have told you real quick that it isn't going to happen. I saw these guys on the unit taking advantage of people. They were part of the Bloods gang, and so it was after I was in the Heart to Heart group a couple of weeks, and there was a situation. I was out in the yard, and I was playing Scrabble with a guy, and I saw a situation was occurring on the other side of the yard with some Bloods and Crips, and I saw a guy dig over by the grass to get a shank out, and I told the guy to, pay attention, something bad's about to happen. And one of the guys that was part of the Heart to Heart group walked over to one of the other guys, and he said, "Listen, man," he said, "this guy's just trying to meet his needs with a effed up strategy." He said, and he talked the guy out of hurting this guy. He was going to stab him, and I thought about it, and I said, "Man, I got to start paying attention to what they're talking about down there, like, because I definitely didn't think this guy could change." And so I started going with more intention to listen to Stephen Michael, and another woman, Chris, was coming in, and I started paying attention. I started learning, and he started teaching me about self-empathy and getting in touch with stuff. And another powerful experience was that, like, I blamed everybody: my dad, my stepdad, a teacher that molested me when I was 12. I was in prison for helping cover up a murder. I didn't hurt anybody, but I got 35 years, and because I kept my mouth shut and tried not to be a snitch, and I was just angry, and I didn't feel a lot of love, and I didn't know how to like really get in touch with the feeling of love while I'm in there. And he told me to like meditate on a time, contemplate on a time that I had felt like I was loved, and I was able to start feeling that there were some times in my life that I had felt some love, and there was some good people and along the way. And I started to get in touch with these feelings inside of me, and know that they were there, and I was actually like a okay human being. And that by then, when I met Stephen Michael, it was almost about 19, 20 years in straight, and that I had not just like lost my heart completely. And I'd spent like 6 years in ADSEG in the hole and solitary confinement over those years, and for different fights and surviving and dirty urines and whatever else. And but there was another guy that I was talking to, and I was trying to explain to him how he could get in touch with love. And he said that, he called himself a crack baby, and that he never felt any love. His mom didn't love him. He didn't have anybody that loved him, and he shut down when he was really young, and he didn't know about love. And I told him to try to just like meditate and think about somewhere along the line that there was possibly some love in his life. And he went to sleep that night in his cell. And then the next day we were talking out in the yard, and he kind of almost had tears in his eyes, and he told me that he actually felt like he knew what love was. And he said he doesn't understand how he saw it, but he kind of felt like it was like when he was a baby, and he had an auntie that used to like tend to him or whatever, and she treated him lovingly, and he didn't really know about it, couldn't really remember it, but he felt like he knew what love was, and it like caused a shift in him, So like the process of self-empathy, the process of trying to look into yourself, it was just so powerful. So I was doing the AA steps, and I couldn't forgive my mom. My mom kept my stepdad in my life and my sister's life for a long time, and he was really violent biker, lots of drugs, guns, craziness in the house, in and out of psychiatric institutions growing up with him. I was in and out of foster homes. And to the point that 3 years ago, my mom passed, and my sister didn't come to the hospital. She didn't come to the wake. She didn't come. She lived in the very next town to my mom, and she never could forgive her. So in the process, Stephen Michael was teaching me that my mom somehow had a need that she was trying to meet by leaving us there in that house. And so she came to visit, and I was able to ask her, and she explained that my stepdad said that if we left, he would hunt us down. He would kill me and my sister in front of her, kill her, and then kill himself. And so she was trying to meet the need of our well-being, of our being able to stay alive by keeping us in that situation. That she loved us so much, she wanted us to stay alive. And I was able to forgive her. I was able to understand that, she really was trying to love us. And when I came home March 22nd, 2017, and I got to spend the last 5 months of her life with her. She got cancer, and 2 months after I was home, she had a stroke because they put a stent in her liver to relieve the yellowing, and it caused a bacterial infection. She had a stroke, and then 3 months later she passed, and I was able to make a living amends and take care of her and drive her to physical therapy. And I put grab bars in the toilet so she could use the bathroom and clean her and give her meds every day. And like all her Al-Anon friends said how she was so happy that I was home and I was sober. And so I'm still sober 5.5 years now. I've been consecutively without ever touching anything. And it's like Stephen Michael said, he was such a good part of helping me to change. Like I finished my CADC schooling, certified alcohol and drug counselor schooling. I work as a counselor, addictions counselor in the detox in the local hospital here. I facilitate a group for nonviolent communication sponsored by Heart to Heart up here on Zoom. I was doing it in person every Wednesday night, and now it's Tuesday nights on Zoom. But I just got married 2.5 months ago, and I got a 13-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl, and a 17-year-old boy. And me and my wife use nonviolent communication, talk to each other, and we try to talk to them about their needs and strategies. And we've read Chris Harstein's book to them a couple times to try to help explain to them and get them to see what we're talking about so that they can kind of understand. And they look at me like I'm crazy because they're like, you really care what I think about? You really care what I feel? And I'm like, yeah, I really do. It's important, Doesn't mean that sometimes there won't still be boundaries that you're not happy with, but that we really do care, and we'll be able to tell you what the need is. We're worried, we're concerned about your security and your well-being, and so that's why there's this boundary that we have set. But we're able to explain it that way, and it gets across. I just know that I'm home almost 3.5 years now, and like I don't know that I would if I wasn't able to forgive my mom. Like my sister's still drinking heavy today, and not, and she didn't come to the funeral. She wasn't, like, I might not have ever been able to let go of that bitterness, but the way that he explained it to me and the way that Marshall's book explained, it made it possible. And I'm just eternally grateful. And thank you.